Yeah, and we've talked about the Vietnam squad as well. Dek Lung has had a very great run of career in Free Fire so far. We have seen multiple years where this guy has been the superstar, surviving and carrying Vietnam on his back. But the Mighty Eagles haven't really been able to chomp off a lot thus far from these matches. But as we open up Purgatory, match number 3, flight path as decent as ever. We've been getting such generous flight paths all throughout the grand finals.
We'll take it. We'll take it. I mean, it's more fun this way. It's a little bit more standard. Everybody's kind of understanding what they need to do. But it looks like, the Fire Brigade Essential, they're going to have Vastamundo that kind of going in. But Keed, Nando, all by himself. Yes, you have the res system, but is this the right play just to kind of isolate them, maybe get a little greedy? I mean, considering the fact that you're maybe going up against Vastamundo 1 versus 4.
It's a great player to send off on his own. Nando 9 can get the job done, but he's taken on potentially the full squad of Vastamundo. That's going to be a disaster. Ignis Esports needs to be careful as well because they are holding on to a very close compound at Brasilia against RRQ Kazu, who desperately need to pick up solid points for themselves because they're doing phenomenally well already, but you never know when you might start bombing out. So RRQ is going to get super aggressive a little bit later on as well. We did talk about SES Alpine, and they are off to a great start. Alpha bites the dust.
Oh my gosh, G18 is the last one alive. He's going to just try to keep them alive, but man, I felt like the drop was very slow. By the time they got down, they were getting shot at. So it's one of those situations where you got to make a move and you got to do it quick. G18 all by himself, hiding behind the rock here, and SES are looking to draw a beat on him. G18 does get eliminated. 12th slot already.
Jojo picks up the triple for himself. 3 eliminations to his name. SES Alpine. I think they heard me call them out. They want to get towards the left-hand side of the leaderboard as well to make this just a 3-region domination at the grand finals. AV Radicals will find the players of Cade as they once again look for that high-tier loot zone. Dead God from the back manages to top up the health of his partner Fest. And Cade trying to flank ever so slowly on the left and right-hand side. General headshot. Deuce goes down, and this might just prove to be deadly for the players of AV Radicals.
Oh, this is not a great spot right now, and it looks like they're being completely surrounded. Yeah, he has the pickup, but they need to get to safety. Wine is trying to make his way there just to kind of back them up, but they're kind of stuck in this area. Yes, you have a glue wall. You don't have a lot of space, though.
You don't have much space. Deuce sneaks on away. Ramiel can respawn. Has got the AWM. AC-80 in the hands of Deuce as well. Modestia with the right-hand side flank. He's looking for the angle. Just refuses to move on out though. He's trying to play the safe as well. Deuce finally goes down and that flank comes through. And General from that left-hand side as well. The damage has been done. AV Radicals have no choice whatsoever. They have to run.
They have to run, and it looks like they're just going to go for the revives instead. But again, this is a tough team, a tough out for AV right now, Radicals. Hiding behind this one, Dead God is going to stick around. He's going to go for this 1 versus 1 against Tanamo, and it looks like this is going to be a super close one, a 50-50 at best. I mean, Dead God, is he going to wrap around? He's going to heal himself. He's going to keep himself up for this one, and he wants to get to full health. He knows Tanamo's right around this corner.
High rate of fire on that SMG, so Tanamo can spray him down, but the timing is off. Modestia with the backstab. Tanamo goes down, but AV Radicals still survives. Triple kill here for the one and only General with 68 HP left. He managed to get the job done, and Cade are off to a phenomenal start. They've now taken away the supremacy of AV Radicals from this high-tier loot zone. They get to enjoy the loots all for themselves.
I'll take everything. It's all mine. Keed will happily take that one. They've got 4 eliminations as well, and that was actually a super smart play. The fact that they were baiting it out, and it looks like Tanamo was like, oh, I'm just going to find the guy in front of me, did not check his back or whatever, and he just got completely ambushed. So completely caught off guard. AV's technically still in it, so they have a chance, but again, very difficult situation. Keed in a great spot to start this round 3.
I, for some reason, have not managed to spot the final player on the side of AV Radicals. Do let me know if you do find the guy.
This is like, where's Waldo?
Nigma Galaxy, on the other hand, stops all alone. I wish he would stop splitting away from the rest of his squad because he's giving me a little bit of a heart attack here. We want to see Enigma Galaxy show us another solid round, but if he gets taken out of the equation super early, that's going to prove to be very, very deadly for the side of Enigma Galaxy. But I do see what he's doing. He's trying to stake out the mid segment of this next circle just so that he can clear the area for the rotation for the rest of Enigma Galaxy. They want to play positioning super early, and that's a great idea if you're in Purgatory.
Yeah, it's great, but you need to ensure that you have the arsenal, right? You need to loot as much as possible, make sure that you're set. Then you can kind of just stick around, fortify that area, let people come to you. There's so many buildings, there's a lot of cover. It's a very difficult map to play on, so you need to ensure that when you're in that final circle, you've got the best lines of view, and of course, as much utility as possible.
RRQ, Ignis in a lot of trouble. RRQ has got that bird's eye view, but they managed to use the roof of this compound to just obscure the vision of Pac-Man. Pac-Man sees nobody coming right towards him, and Ignis Esports can chill for the time being. They don't really have to get very aggressive. Pac-Man releases that one shot, and it looks like the players of RRQ have been spotted out by Ignis already. They still want to push on ahead. Pac-Man dodges behind the roof. This is great positioning for him. And Danger Zone out of nowhere. This is the savior for Ignis. Now Pac-Man has to get off of his roof, and Team RRQ cannot get aggressive yet.
Yeah, they're going to have to just go the other way, right? It was one of those things, the fight was about to happen. RRQ thought they had him in, dead to right, so to speak. But with that Danger Zone, that's going to slow things down. Nobody wants to get outside. Ignis Esports are going to stick around, make sure that they, put up a good fight here to ensure that they kind of repel the attack and the assault by RRQ. They're going to play a little bit safer. RRQ, third place. They need to stay alive, make sure that they get some more points.
Pac-Man, Legelov. Legelov's holding the front lines here against the players of Ignis. You know exactly why. He wants to lob those nades directly at them. It doesn't seem like he does have a grenade launcher though, so that's gonna be a little bit of a risk if he does continue to push on ahead. He leaves Pac-Man to deal with the rest of the squad of Ignis. He backs away to find a better defensive spot for himself, maybe to protect Maybe as well. Now they've got a triple snipe setup here potentially with Razor holding onto the AC-80 as well. So as long as RRQ keeps the distance between themselves as well as Ignis, they've got the advantage.
You don't need to go aggressive, right? Just stay where you are. Understand that there's still plenty of time. I mean, we just hit the 7-minute mark.
Yeah.
Of course, the circles are there. Nobody really needs to, go over aggressive. There are definitely some open areas getting into building to building, but RRQ, as long as you're spotting the different angles and the possible directions of attack, you should be fine. You need to get yourself set up for the late game. But as I say that, Nigma X coming on the flank right now, and it looks like they're going to get into a fight with RRQ all the way in the middle.
Naguara tagging up the players of Nigma Galaxy at the same time as well as RRQ finds that engagement against Nigma. Nigma being sandwiched between two teams. They are the ones doing the traveling. Naguara from up top. They've got that bird's eye view, but they also have to be careful with their positioning because that headshot from down bottom is going to be a little easy, and Nigma Galaxy has got the mechanical capability to get the job done. They back away. Look at who's beyond the horizon as well. Vasto Mundo on the way in to find a couple of picks for themselves.
Yeah, they'll take what they can get. Again, the game has slowed down quite a bit. I mean, it's one of those things where, again, teams are still very early. They want to get those placement points, try to get what they can. And again, from the second floor of these buildings, you have so many lines, you can cover almost everything, right?
Yeah.
Your vision is just almost uncharted. You have a great opportunity to just see what's coming at you. Again, no team really wants to take any risk at this stage.
RRQ, as patient as ever. Ignis on the other hand, everybody's together. And Faku from the back, Mac 10. One of the best weapons to use out there. Duel gets taken out of the equation. Stop down as well, Faku. This is just absolutely deadly and horrendous in terms of an outcome for Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah, if they were trying to third party, they got caught out. It was eventually going to happen where teams just kind of get the jump on one another. If you're continuing to move, you got to watch your angles, and it's very difficult because there's so much cover, so many different buildings. And to check all the angles, very difficult situation for them. But SES, 4 eliminations, they're going to stick around. Again, just play a little bit slow, wait for that next circle.
Caramel brings Stop right back into the equation, buys him back from that vending machine. And therefore, Nigma Galaxy is not going to be tickled at all by that initial ambush. They know that the rest of the teams, they want to play this as safe as possible. Nigma has got a small compound of Brasilia to control, but they cannot take advantage of this position just yet. HQ, on the other hand, HQ Esports, with the potential of that is engagement against Naguara. Everybody's playing it patiently. But this is purgatory. You've got enough space to play it patiently all the way up to the 12-minute mark.
It's fine. To be honest, I like games like this on Purgatory. The fact that, like, you know, you have that close to the final circles where there's this mad ambush. Everybody is just getting into each other's faces. It's prime position for those highlight reels with those grenades. Eventually could happen, and I'm looking forward to that.
Let's see if or not Esports. Phoenix jumps into the action. I believe, as I was talking about them, they do take a shot against Ignis Esports. Jonah on the way back in. He gets tagged up. Ignis is trying their best to get an elimination off of EVOS, but nobody seems to have secured a knock just yet, and EVOS backs away. Those warning shots are more than enough to keep the Thai players at bay. And from the back, RRQ spotting out the fact that Ignis is attacking EVOS. They want to get this approach on them and perhaps pull off this backstab. RRQ has been playing possum so far against the players of Ignis Esports. Circle hunts down these same two teams. Everybody else has to rotate in towards them. And guess who's in as well? Nigma Galaxy, so they don't have to move.
Yeah, they don't have to move yet. I mean, again, 10-minute mark. Slow it down, right? There's still 44 players. There's plenty of opportunities. But look at this team. Like, all of them are just like, hey, this is my area. I'm going to lock this one. Nigma Galaxy in the top center. The Vastamoto, everybody has that certain location. They're going to lock it down. They're going to stick together. But MGS, they're going to go, you know, almost right into the middle of this, right into Ignite Esports here.
Oh, my goodness. It is going to be a terrible situation for GU. He's tagged up already. Drax as well. Hops on off of his vehicle. They're taking the attack straight up to the opponents. Ignis Esports tries to fire down as well, but Magic Squad's not going to get taken down just yet. They've got a good defensive compound for themselves. Kano down on the ground, but that's not going to hurt Ignis. It's just going to pause that approach from them. EVOS now rotating from the outside as well. Magic Squad has got the opportunity to gatekeep them, but EVOS has a lot of time to play with. Very specifically, 10 seconds for that circle to close on in, another 10 seconds for that circle to catch up with the current one. So that's going to be enough time for EVOS to find a better spot for themselves.
Okay, right now it looks like everybody's in the circle. Everyone seems to be fine. It's going to be the next circle where it dictates where teams move, which is going to be key. That one's going to be the big one, especially since everybody's so close. But Ray with a nice shot will take out Tyson.
HQ Esports now. Artemis backs away, and SES Alpine. I mean, brother, I cannot help but think that they did hear me call them out, and they want to say that Indonesia can get the job done, especially the first-seeded team. They are blazing right now, literally, as the elimination leaders of this lobby. Naguara at a disadvantage down on that lower ground. HQ trying to tag up the players of SES, but they barely have a defensive compound to work around with here. So be careful before you stick your fingers into the hornet's nest.
Yeah, okay. Well, SES is looking at RRQ on the top right now. Both of these teams from Indonesia. I know that there's going to be some competitiveness between those two teams. They want to be the best in terms of their country. Of course, they want to score very high in the World Series as well, but it's one of those things where bragging rights. You know, you don't want the other team being higher than you in this, right?
Most definitely don't, man. He backs away. HQ Esports, they lose Neo. All thanks to a great nade out of G'day. Neo down. Artemis tagged up. Ray tries to go in, but Jojo! Someone steals it from the back. We've got no information as to exactly who that is, but SES Alpine now in a lot of trouble. HQ can pincer them down from up top. Glue Wall Melter comes out first from hand. AC-80 in hand, no pun intended. They now just back away. They use the distraction to play some game of safety. It looks like it was Naguara that sneaked away that elimination off of SES Alpine. SES never saw that coming.
All right, Naguara doing the ambushing. That's what they did in the play-ins. That's their success rate. But HQ Esports in a bad spot. Vastamondo now in a skirmish with EVOS Phoenix, and it looks like they're going to just kind of back off here, and it looks like they do have the crest of that hill keeping them alive, but Ignite Esports is right on top of them.
Good nade, but that's just a nice grenade to force them to reposition. Glue Wall Melter comes forth from the players of Ignis, and that's just going to break down the defenses of EVOS. And look at this, EVOS very smartly not erecting any of those glue walls, allowing the Glue Wall Melter to run its course, run out of time before whipping out those defenses. Smart response by EVOS Phoenix.
They're smart, but they're kind of still out in the open. Yes, you have that hill, and that's keeping you alive. You have the storm behind you, kind of covering your track, so to speak, but now where do you make that move? EVOS Phoenix are still wide out in the open. They're not in a building. They're very vulnerable here.
And it's a smart move from them, but they also have got barely any of those glue walls to work around with. And of course, off screen earlier on, we saw Vastamundo in action, Nunes, and we managed to snap onto him as he knocks down Field God. And from the across the battlefield here, they still need to deal with AB Radicals. Things are getting heated in the 14th minute of this matchup at Purgatory, as we have way too many teams, way too many players still alive and kicking out there on the battlefield. Bobs manages to get the knock, secures the elimination. Ray brings Jojo right back into the equation. The Indonesians can stay alive, but Dew's the final hope here for Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah, he's on the roof right now. He's going to keep himself
What a
healed
play,
right now,
Ramiel.
but he's about half. Ramiel does get the shot. Wow, nice shot there. Nigma X has been eliminated.
Ramiel buys 2 members for the side of AB Radicals back into the game, eliminates the final player of Nigma Galaxy as well. Ramiel doing way too much for the squad. Deuce comes back, Deuce gets taken out of the equation. Naguara out as well. And finally, we see Cade popping off. 7 eliminations, they're not pausing just yet, but they need to move 30 seconds to find a defensive compound before the circle pressures.
Oh gosh, Vastamundo and AV just got eliminated there. 6 teams left. Evo's Phoenix are back to full strength. That was actually they've been almost untouched, so to speak. I was thinking about Nigma Galaxy. That's that Evo's Phoenix continue to stick around. They're going to be healed on this one. They're going to play gatekeeping on that end. But now let's look about Magic Squad. 4 eliminations. They're going to look to just kind of keep themselves alive. They're in a pretty good spot already in the circle.
Oh, I see a grenade launcher, and it looks like it's Cade. Cade dragging in the grenade launcher. Ignis gonna be biting those grenades by the looks of it. Nando 9 holding those back lines in case they do get ambushed from the back. The Macha's gonna be able to secure all of those eliminations all on his own, but it's all about the timing here. Who gets that third party? Razor finds the knock on Tupara, secures the elimination as well. RRQ Kazu on fire, but Ignis Esports still need to deal with Cade, who are right down below them.
Oh, nice Modestia with a nice shot into Maybe. He's going to take that one. Evo's Phoenix, again, sticking around, seeing what he can do. Magic Squad are on the move, ambushing the teams, but they're getting shot at by Evo's Phoenix. They do need to be careful. Bops is getting a little bit low, and it looks like that's going to be a bit of a win, I think. Well, I mean, Magic Squad's still alive.
Yeah, Evos has to abandon their team member who got dropped there. And out of nowhere, Mochi takes down Italo. Italo, I don't think he's got enough time to be picked right back up. Bobs tries to trade one back out. He get high. Fantastic nade by Bobs. And Evos Phoenix pause. Jonah has to back away. Kate now loses Modestia. No pickup for him. Up top is Ignis. But grenade after grenade gets dropped on. In general, gets the slay. Eric gets taken out of the equation. Kate with the 12 eliminations. Make that 13 as well. These guys are on fire.
Oh my gosh, Kay, this is the damage. This is the grenade launcher.
One
just
more?
throwing it in. Kano's all the way in the
One more?
corner. They do have the grenade. Okay, bounces off. He's going to keep himself alive, but Keed, great position. Magic Squad are right on the flank. Who wants this one?
General still has got a lot to deliver, man. That grenade launcher is going to do a lot of damage in the next few seconds. Magic Squad still with the pixie dust, circling on around. They need to hop on into this compound, though. Circle's going to squeeze everybody out, and Magic Squad left out in the open. They've got the grenade launcher. Bobs hops on inside. SCSL Fine welcomes them with open arms, but the grenade finds them, and the Max 7 drops them. SCS out in the 4th spot, and what a booyah picked up. It was all chaos inside of that house all out.
That was actually crazy, right? Ignis Esports, the fact that they were able to go in, they were centralized almost the entire map. They understood. They did get a little bit lucky in terms of that storm. The circle was right there, but they were right on point, and that's what you need. Sometimes you just need to be lucky.
And you remember yesterday I was not on broadcast. I was taking a break. I heard this conversation between you and Husky. You guys were talking about the sofa in some of these compounds. That is the perfect defense for many. And that's exactly what Ignis Esports used for themselves, right? Cade was trying to pop all of those grenades onto that 2nd floor. This guy hides in the tiny little corner behind the sofa, and that just saves his life. A phenomenal survival capability by Ignis. But let's take a look at this highlight to see how that ran down.
right there. You just saw that circle just kind of narrow in, getting into that one with like 6 or 7 people just scrambling.
I mean, Kano with the masterful play, he had one of the best weapons, the Mag 7. That auto shotgun gets the job done, especially when things get heated, but it was all about the timing. He stays hidden, he gets tagged up by the circle just a tad little bit, but he knows all of the actions downstairs.
Yeah.
He stayed upstairs for a majority of the time because he was waiting for everyone to get lumped up into a tight circle, brings down that auto shotgun, sprays everybody down to the ground. Ignis picks up a phenomenal booyah for themselves.
They definitely needed that one, and that's the first one outside of Thailand has got that booyah. This is, of course, the 3rd round, but it's actually key, right?
Yeah.
It's going to come down to eliminations. I think that Vivo Kid, we talked about that they had like 12 or 13 eliminations.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to be in the top. I think in terms of points, they might have gotten there because, again, it's all about eliminations, at least for me.
Absolutely, man. And of course, when it's so close in matches like this, we have to take a look at the match standings to identify exactly who is above the other. It was a phenomenal round for 2 big teams out there. Mainly, it was Vivo Kate that picked up 13 solid eliminations, and as you anticipated, they launched themselves up to the top, even though it was only 6 elimination points that they managed to gather for themselves. And, sorry, 6 placement points for themselves. 9 placement points for Magic Squad, 8 eliminations, and the big seed does for this Brazilian team, still in effect until today. I cannot understand how Magic Squad is so consistent.
They're playing so well. They're sticking together. The ambushing that they've been doing, the strategy is on point. It's like, oh, wow, they haven't got any booyahs, but man, they're under the radar. They're still getting second. They're getting 8 eliminations.
Yeah.
I mean, their second point, they're doing it without the booyahs. Booyahs can, at the end of the day, can be very lucky, and Magic Squad is like, we don't need luck. We got our skill.
We talked about SES Alfang. We talked about the #1 seeded team within Indonesia. We were wondering exactly where they are. They finally show up. 7 placement, 8 of the eliminations gets them to 15. But let's look at the overall standings to see exactly how this has shuffled up the leaderboard, because up top we still see Esports, Phoenix, but right behind them the Brazilians have managed to catch up, 46 points. But look at the differential in terms of points here on the left-hand side of the leaderboard. Nigma Galaxy 2 points away from them with the 44. Vivo Key tied up with Nigma Galaxy on 44. RRQ Kazu with the 42. What a phenomenal grand finals we've got on our hands, Ola.
We knew the teams from Brazil were very good. We knew the teams from Thailand were very good. And they're the top 4, and they're tied, right?
Yeah.
It's only coming down to the booyahs. That is a tiebreaker. That can be key later down the road.
Yeah.
Of course, it's still very early. Now, let's look at more of the other teams. RRQ Kazu, 42. Literally right behind them. Very under the radar.
I mean, you know, we were just so upset thinking, what's up with LATAM, right? I mean, Naguara kind of went a little bit down under today, but Ignis Esports, they stepped it up for the squad, and this is just amazing to see. Let's also take a look at exactly who the MVP of that matchup was. It is, of course, the one and only Super Slayer of the day, Jason, with 2 eliminations as Team Ignis picked up the booyah for themselves.
Okay, not the most eliminations, but they didn't get much. But at the end of the day, they played a smart game. They got that placement point, the booyah, of course, in the end. So they were playing with that in mind. That strategy is what you need to do. Sometimes it's not about the eliminations. And if you can get lucky, or you make sure that you're in that right spot at the right time, that's going to be key. But let's talk a little bit about the match kill leaders. There were plenty of them to go throughout.
Yeah, I mean, I would have gone with Kano there, man, because without the guy, they wouldn't have been able to pick up that booyah. But of course, those eliminations do play a great role as well. But it was General who was that Master Slayer on the side of Cade, who managed to pick up a total of 6 eliminations for himself. Guess with what? Once again, the grenade launcher.
Yeah, that's all you need, right? Yeah. I think like it's one of those things where when the eliminations aren't happening early, you have that time for the teams to just really group up, and that's really key. But let's talk about the other part that's key, which is the key players here. Headshot, General. He's had 2 kills with that. He's just pretty much a sniper. Blazer 10 on the other end, Blue Wall Master. He's throwing up blue walls left and right, making it very difficult to draw a beat on Vastamante.
And EWAS Phoenix continuously with all of those defensive compound they held on to. It was Moshi that was shooting out each and every single one of those Riptide Rhythms, taking down glue wall after glue wall, shooting them down so that the defenses of the opponents can be ripped apart and they can pick up a couple of extra eliminations. Unfortunately, not a lot of those engagements went their way, as that circle was just way too jam-packed with a lot of squads out there who were sneaking away all of those eliminations off of one another. But it was Wine that blocked the majority of the damage out of his Chronos time turn, a total of 1,634. That's a lot of damage negated.
That's a ton of damage. And I mean, that last circle just reminded me of like musical chairs with like 6 people playing. There's one chair in the middle, right? Like it's just like this mad chaos. Who wants it at the end of the day? And it looks like Ignis Esports was going to get that. But let's talk a little bit more about the maps. We've just played our 3rd one. Every single round has thus far has given a different team in terms of a booyah. But now we're going to go to Alpine, the latest addition to the World Series.
The first 2 matches, of course, dominated by the Thai teams, but the 3rd game, we see LATAM waking up in the competition. But this is just the start. We are a long, long way away from the end. Ignis Esports still has an opportunity to steal this away from the home ground advantage holders, Nigma Galaxy as well as Vods Phoenix. But is that going to be the storyline, or will we see the rise of yet another squad? SES Alpine are slowly waking up in the tournament as well.
Yeah, they need like the other teams need to wake up, right? If you're on the bottom, there is no time. You don't want to go into the second half where you're really behind. Yeah, especially if you're in single digits. That's a terrible place to be in right now. God help you. Whatever you can do to get yourself back into this one. You got to make sure you get some eliminations. Give yourself a chance to really get into this one.
At this point is where you really have to be worried. You really have to be extremely disappointed with yourselves if you have not made good friends with Vods Phoenix, because you got to go and ask them like, hey bro, how do you bounce back? How do you make an eternal comeback from like having a single digit after 2 to 3 games and then just swoop on into that second spot? Vods Phoenix might be able to share some of those tips.
Okay, for the record, everyone in Thailand has been super nice, but I think that if you're going to ask a team something like that, I'm pretty sure they're not going to tell you the right answer.
Ask my coach.
Right? Yeah. I'm not giving away my free strats, for everything, right? That's not how we play this.
I mean, of course, at the end of the day, in a perfect world, they will be able to get those answers, but they have to figure out the solution because the Thai players are waiting to put up a strong comeback in this next matchup at Alpine. But we're going to take a quick short break before that happens.